Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Spark Faith Podcast. I am Dr. Chris Sargent, and today we are going to talk about why oatmeal is the worst idea for breakfast. Now, I know that most of you or many of you eat oatmeal for breakfast because I ask you every time I see you what you eat for breakfast. And this is one of the most common things. But if you want to be on the fast track to diabetes, PCOS, hormone disruption, fatigue, yes, the lowly and unassuming oatmeal can take credit for all of the above. Now, before you all get too excited and offended because you love your oatmeal, this is going to apply to most of you. Not all of you, but most of you, and there is a way around it. So just listen in here for just a minute, and then we'll come up with some solutions so that you can still have your oatmeal, but maybe in just a different way, right? So oatmeal can be a whole grain. It is gluten-free. The downside is that it is a very complex carbohydrate. And so in a typical serving, it is between 30 and 40 grams of carbohydrates. So you're like, so what? Well, if you have a tendency to gain weight, or if you have a tendency to fatigue, or if you have any kind of hormonal disruption or blood sugar balancing issues, oatmeal is going to send your blood sugar screaming up pretty high and pretty fast. Now, that is plain oatmeal. So if you've added a banana, which is another 40 grams of carbohydrates, if you've added brown sugar, if you've added berries, if you've added a bunch of more carbohydrates to it, that's just going to increase its rate of screaming up your blood sugar and setting you up for a crash in about 2 hours. And at the top, insulin is higher because it's a lot of carbohydrates all at one time. And for women, that can take your estrogen and shift it over into testosterone, which is not exactly the direction we want that to go, particularly if we have a tendency towards PCOS or any other kind of hormone disruption. If you are fatigued, it is because your blood sugar is doing these kind of things all day long, and you're set up for that crave right from the get-go with oatmeal. So, yes, there is a workaround, right? So that might include adding a scoop of your favorite protein to your oatmeal, right? Not only that, we probably have some other sweeteners that you could use like stevia. And then maybe you add berries instead of a banana, just a few berries just for flavor, not an entire cupful, because again, it's just going to add more carbs. So there are some other ways around it. You can add an egg instead, right? Like you can have an egg alongside it or 2 eggs alongside it and cut down your portion. So that you can get that 1-to-1 carb protein ratio that will have less of an impact on your overall insulin levels. And then you decrease that. Not only do you decrease the hormone fluctuation, but you also decrease inflammation because insulin creates inflammation as well, all by itself. So we want to keep insulin low. And then your blood sugar being more even with the protein and maybe a little bit of fat, you won't have those big ups and downs, and so you will also have less fatigue. So oatmeal is a bad idea on its own for those reasons. Now, it can be if you are a long distance runner and you take a really long run every morning, you're going to be your energy, right? You're going to need that. But that isn't most of us. So, like I said, it applies to about 75% of y'all. And for the rest of you, we need to be adding eggs and or some kind of protein powder. Cut down on the amount that you eat and take that banana out of there. All right, y'all. Love you. See you later.